1055 Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What a combination. What a twosome. Right there with peanut butter and jelly. Right there with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell. I mean, you got to love it. Middle of the month. And the temps are dropping in our beloved state. I mean, I don't hang on a Doppler, but it was absolutely wonderful out earlier today. And I had to check out of the truck about an hour ago, and I swear it had dropped at least 15 degrees, maybe more. And it just continues to dip. So February brings us so many great things, right? Coming up this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, start your engine. Start your engines, pitchers and catchers report. And college baseball gets underway ridiculously early, and it's happening right now. Florida State up 3-0 over James Madison. That is in the fourth inning. You just heard Frank and Hayes talking about a big one coming up tonight. Notre Dame getting ready to take on the University of North Florida. West Virginia in to play Jacksonville. Air Force in to play Florida. Siena is in to play the University of Central Florida. Iowa is in to play South Florida. And Niagara, all the way down the deep south, taking on Miami. So that is just the majority of the Florida schools that are getting things on track tonight or today, and then that'll continue Saturday and Sunday. I will say this, as a guy who grew up in it, as a guy who after hockey, you would be going through baseball tryouts in the beginning part of baseball practices in parking lots in Boston because you still had snow on the ground. There are so many ways that you can be injured playing athletics, right? Football, we talk about it all the time. I'll tell you, there's nothing worse than taking a puck to the ankle, or if you can get it in around the knee where there's not any padding. It's just brutal. But I'll put right up there. And you would think, ankle, knee, midsection, below the belt. Okay, you got to draw the line somewhere. Then you get to baseball and you start talking about your fingers. But, brother, there is nothing worse than fouling one off or getting it off the bad part of the bat when it is frigid outside. And that really does. At that time of the year, it separates men from boys. And we're seeing that tonight, and we'll see it this weekend in the world of college baseball. And, of course, before you know it, we'll be talking about spring training and actual games that are going on both here in Florida as well as the Cactus League in Arizona. All right, it's good to have you with us. Just fired up for tonight's program. I really am. The Jaguars have been, again, very busy today on this Friday. 5 different announcements, which I'm going to get into here momentarily. But I'm getting more and more into the recognition that Ethan Waugh really is coming into play. All right. I think it's Ian Cunningham. He wrapped up his interview today as the Bears assistant general manager. And, he's been a guy that I've talked about forever. I mean, really going back to when I thought it would be Ben Johnson, and maybe Ben Johnson would bring along with him Ray Agnew. Right? Ray Agnew never got a taste here in Duval. It looks like there's 10 that have been interviewed. John Eric Sullivan, we mentioned yesterday, I think it came from a Jeremy Fowler report on ESPN, has completed his interview. Chad Alexander, so Sullivan with the Packers, Chad Alexander, the Chargers assistant general manager, has completed his interview as well. So that's 10 that we know of. And yesterday the wording was you'll go from 10 to 5, and these have been virtual interviews. Next up will be bring them in. Let's welcome them to the Miller Electric Center. Let's show them the facility. Let's, have a dinner with them, what have you. And this job is huge. It is so important. Yeah, you want to have that face-to-face meeting and that greeting, and I would assume that is going to be absolutely the case next week right here in Duval. But the more I hear about it, Ethan Waugh has done a nice job. He has been impressive with those that he has talked to, including both Tonys, Baselli, and Shad Khan. Again, I don't know how directly Mark Lamping is involved in this process. Mark has so many things that are going on the business side with this football team. And, of course, early in the week, he signed a contract extension himself, the president of the Jaguars, Mark Lamping, through the year 2030. Does it matter? I mean, right now, I kind of have the feeling, listening to you, as I do every night, the way that you get to us via social media, that Jacksonville has done just about everything to appease you, to excite you, to remotivate you, right? It's like there's been a flip of the switch to even mention a 4-13 season, to even mention it being a disaster and say that Shad Khan told us during the press conference in which Doug Peterson was fired, there was the most predictable offense and defense. This is really good for Duval, and it's especially good for you, the Jaguar fans, and frankly, that's all that I care about, right? I want you to be happy. But am I wrong here that there was so much doom and gloom for those 2+ weeks, 2.5 weeks, whatever it was, that Trent Baalke was still a part of this franchise? I mean, you people were heading deep south. You were out of here. And ever since that firing happened, you have come back and you've signed on with Liam Cohen. You have signed on with Anthony Campanile. You have signed on with Grant Udinski, regardless of how they have gone about it, which I think is totally backwards. I mean, the way they've put all this together doesn't make any sense to me. It's completely opposite of the traditional way to build a football organization, right? In the perfect world, you would have hired Baselli first, your general manager, your head coach, your offense, your defense. They didn't. They went all around the place, beginning with Cohen, the head coach, then Baselli, then some position coaches, then But again, they've been losing. Why not? Try something differently. Everything changes in life, including this right here. So it gets us to the general manager. And I mentioned it, I guess it was yesterday, when that bogus report came out about Pittsburgh, wondering if they could get with Trevor Lawrence and create a trade scenario. First thing I thought of was, who would even make that trade? Okay, it's never going to happen. But still, who's responsible? Is Tony Baselli going to say, hey, and again, in a far different world, if he didn't get that contract extension and he was starting year 5, the final of the 5-year deal, the team picked up that first-round option, and he had not signed, and there were whispers that he could be moved, you don't even have a guy in place who is there to make any type of move, right? You've got the Brandon Sheriff situation coming up on the 17th, where to clear a lot of money, you got to make a decision there. I happen to be one of those who believes he's not returning. The better days are long gone for Brandon Sheriff. Move on, okay? Yes, he was decent in pass blocking, but he was absolutely awful in what this football team needs to fix more than anything, and that is run blocking. And if you listen to Udinski yesterday and you listen to Cohen when he was introduced, they have both made a very big deal about the ability to run the football, and I love that. And you should love that as a Jaguars fan. But here we are talking about general managers, and I'm going to raise my hand too. We do not know. We just don't. One interview came from someone who has done it before, and that was John Robinson in Tennessee. The others have never done it at this level, have never been the official decision makers. Dave Caldwell's a good football guy. Dave Caldwell just got a Super Bowl ring, right? His responsibilities worked for Philadelphia. They worked for Atlanta previously to that, right? Gene Smith was a very good football guy in the building. When you put them, however, in charge of it all, in charge of free agency, in charge of the NFL draft, in charge of the roster, we saw that it didn't work out nearly as well. We don't know here. We have an understanding with coaches, even though for the most part, Pete Carroll, I guess the only exception to the rule, these are first-timers that are going to be coaches in the NFL coming from an offensive or defensive coordinator. We don't know if it's going to work out. We want to believe that this thing here in town is going to be spectacular with Liam Cohen. We don't know. But at least we have an understanding of where he's been, going back and forth between the Rams and the Kentucky Wildcats, finally calling plays this year in Tampa Bay, really being able to show what he was able to do while superstars were out. Mike Evans for 3, right? Chris Godwin went out in week 7 with a dislocated ankle, taking a 4th-round draft pick at running back and Bucky Irvin, and watch what he was able to do. So you get this feeling that, all right, Liam Cohen does this, Liam Cohen does that. Let's plug that in. You like it. When you get to the general managers, really? I mean, what do I really know about Ian Cunningham? I know his resume. I know that he has been a part of some very successful football franchises, particularly Baltimore. What do I know about Chad Alexander? Okay? What do we know about Ethan Waugh? It's fascinating to me because we all have an opinion on it, but I think we are so uneducated on it, it just blows me away. We have no idea what goes on in these rooms. Ethan Waugh is the number 2, right? He's still under the direction of Trent Baalke. Does Trent Baalke bounce things off Ethan Waugh? Or does Trent Baalke jam it and say, Ethan, tell me about this player. Tell me about that player. And if he does he go with the advice from Ethan Waugh? The flip side is this becomes a boss and an understudy. Same deal. Do you forcefully agree with what your boss is saying? Are you comfortable enough in your own skin that you can honestly give your opinion, even if it is totally opposite of what Trent Baalke was saying? So, this is what, to me, is so hard to try to figure out. Ethan Waugh may be a brilliant football man. He may be outstanding. Remember what Baalke did around here that was so successful? He knew how to tell Shad Khan exactly what he wanted to hear. Everyone else, myself included, all of you out there listening, we saw it. The owner didn't. He's brilliant. He's a multi-billionaire. He didn't see it. Has Ethan Waugh learned from that? Has he learned, listen, I'm going to tell Shad Khan exactly what he wants to hear. Watch this. I'll tell Tony Baselli exactly what it is that he wants to hear. Does he have the ability to be like Baalke and blame others? It was never Baalke's fault. It was Doug Peterson's fault. It was so-and-so's fault. They're not playing this guy in the right position. Remember, Baalke had a built-in excuse for absolutely everything. Is that part of the reputation with Ethan Waugh? I don't know. Is Waugh more of a, all right, I'll take responsibility. Things didn't go the way we wanted it. So anyway, I just wanted to get things started with that today because it feels like the mood, if I was checking the temperature in the city, for Jaguar fans right now, everything is spectacular. 1 month after the end of the year. And I'm happy for you. So I guess my question does become, most of you don't want Ethan Waugh, right? Or does it really matter? At this point, it could be Ethan Waugh or any one of the other 9 candidates who was interviewed. Just get a guy in. And no matter who it is, no matter where he comes from, you're going to support it because you're in favor of what they've already done with Baselli and Cohen, etc. You understand where I'm going with this? I don't know enough about any of these guys and what their track record is like to sit here and tell you he's the guy and he's not. Now, I've spoken with a lot of people about it. I remain believing that Ian Cunningham is best for this job. Currently the assistant general manager in Chicago. I also, and I say this all the time because I believe it, it's not Ethan Waugh's fault, but Ethan Waugh has been a part of a process here in this city where losing is accepted. And it can't be. It can't be anymore. Now, maybe he's a real tough guy behind the scenes. And maybe if he heard me say that, he's one of those guys who, boy, I'd love to bump into Ballou in a dark alley. You think I accept losing? Well, here you go. That's the feeling that I have with them all. Not just him, with them all. I hated to lose Cedric Scott, former neighbor of mine, strength and conditioning coach, parted ways with him earlier this week. Fantastic guy. He's part of a identity that loses and turns the page by the time, you haven't even gotten out of the parking lot yet. And these people turn the page and, we're okay with it. It was a one-possession game. Enough of it. No, there's got to be accountability. There's got to be the want to win. And that's why get rid of them all, as far as I am concerned. But I don't know. What if Ethan Waugh has the year of Tony Baselli? What if Ethan Waugh has the year of Shad Khan? And he can tell those two exactly what it is that they want to hear. I would get rid of him for that reason and that reason only.
Right.
It's scary. It really is. It's so disappointing for you, the fans. And you look at all the challenges that are ahead for Liam Cohen. All 7 of these new coaches that are now in place all have to change the culture of that particular franchise. I've been covering this team for 30 years. I have never seen a situation like I saw this year where losing was absolutely a comfortable feeling within the Miller Electric Center. And that is just awful. And it must change. And hopefully it will in the immediate future. All right, happy birthday to the good folks at Shmunez Vision. 4 years old today. And I want to wish them a happy Valentine's Day as well. They've saved more than $1 million in cataract fees with situations that they believe are unnecessary. All right. Advanced equipment, doing things, charging you more because, let's face it here, people just don't know when you visit, your eye doctor. They're going to tell you that this is the latest and this is the best and this is exactly what you need. Well, the best isn't, the most expensive isn't always the best. It is in most aspects of life, but it isn't when it includes your eye care. That's just one of the many reasons why love Shmunez Vision. Want you to check them out online. Again, it's almost been close to 9 years now that I had surgery on my right eye by Dr. Neil Shmunez. He fixed it the very next morning, and there's never been a setback. Whether it's laser eye surgery, whether it's cataract surgery, it's endless. Just make yourself an appointment today and check them out online. The website is really incredible. You can also go to Instagram and get everything there as well at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're busy on this Friday. Let's kick it off with Daniel Griffiths. Always love conversations with him, who's deep into the algorithms, deep into the math. He's produced some good stuff this week. I want to talk a little bit about Gabe Davis. Okay, he's still part of the plan. Contractually speaking, he is. That's kind of my point on Ethan Waugh. Does Ethan Waugh during the interview process say, I told Trent again and again and again and again, do not sign Gabe Davis? Or is Ethan Waugh a guy who maybe gave an opinion to sign Gabe Davis, and he says, yeah, that was on me. I supported that move. These are things we don't know, right? But I think honesty is pretty important here. That's one thing you did not get with Trent Baalke. You didn't get the honesty. Daniel Griffiths is coming up. Let's do that with Daniel Griffiths. Looking forward to it. So not only Gabe Davis, but also the rushing offense. And what about pass rush with guys not named Hines Allen and Walker? That is on the other side.
Feel the team.
Caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Seal the deal.
And the Jags have extended the lead.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
This month, 1010XL shines the spotlight on African Americans in our community who have made the First Coast a better place to live. I'm E.T. Listen for my stories during Black History Month on 1010XL. Brought to you by Instant Keys and McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and I tell you what, you got something really cool coming up, a Triumph Off-Road Day. Give us all the details.
We do. It's February 22nd. It's at North Florida Motocross Park up in Hilliard. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. doing demo rides. Bring your gear and come ride a Triumph dirt bike.
And that means you can find out everything that Triumph has to offer off-road.
Absolutely. We will have the 250 and the new 450 ready to ride.
Check it out. All the details are on Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Scotty Scheffler with a 67, 7 under par halfway through the Genesis. Of course, not playing in L.A. They're back at Torrey Pines for the second time in less than a month. Davis Thompson still out on the golf course. He is tied with Scheffler at -7, has a hole to go. It's a pretty nice leaderboard. Ludwig Oberg, a 66 today. He is at 4 under. Rory making a little bit of a run here today, -3 on this Friday after an even par 72. On Thursday, Jake Knapp, right? Made a lot of money last year. I think he was a rookie. Might have been his second year. We'll get to that momentarily. But, hey, February brings us a lot of great stuff, right? Including golf. And before you know it, it'll be the Florida Swing, including the Players' Championship, less than 1 month away, right here down the road in Sawgrass. But I know what you want, people. You want the sports data guy. You want Jaguars information, and we have it for you with our good buddy Daniel Griffiths, who joins Rick Ballou. Daniel, how are you, man?
Hey, pleasure to be back.
Yeah, it's good to talk with you. And have you learned anything? I tried so hard with 2 questions, but I try to get something out of Anthony Campanile as far as what style of defense, scheme-wise, he's going to run, and he's just not letting us know at this particular time. I think part of that is because this team is planning on adding some starters, both in free agency and the draft. But just whether it's Cohen, whether it's him, whether it's Grant Udinski, have you gotten, kind of a pattern as to what you're seeing with this new staff?
Yeah, as far as Campanile, it's hard to really tell since he wasn't, the primary play caller on defense in Green Bay. So you don't know what kind of style he's going to bring to Jacksonville. Jaguars really invested into man corners, recently, especially with Jerry and Jones. And he played great in man this year. They played a lot of man. So I'd be curious if that's something that they look to change. I would imagine that the Jaguars don't flip-flop again between 3-4 and 4-3, but we'll see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Liam Cohen and the offense, Tampa ran a pretty distinctly different offense from Jacksonville. The Jaguars were among the top of the league in deep passing, and Tampa really focused on the short passing game. They led the NFL in screen yards and touchdowns, and they were at the bottom of the league in deep throwing percentage. Tampa was 28th. Jacksonville was 5th. So I don't want Jaguars fans to be dismayed by this and be like, oh, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to throw deep anymore. That's Trevor Lawrence and BTJ's bread and butter. I don't really see that going away. But I do think that it could be good for Lawrence and the offense, especially early on in games, just to kind of get their get their feet under them and get going a little bit. The Jaguars really struggled in the first quarter this season, and I think just making some things easier for Lawrence, whether it's short passing game, really high percentage throws, getting Etienne involved more in the passing game. You get Evan Ingram back, so that'll be huge as well. As he's a guy that can get some yak for you if they decide to keep him. There's conversations about that as well with Kirk, but I think that Liam Cohen's offense will do a lot of good for Trevor Lawrence in mitigating the slow starts for Jacksonville. Really get the offense going. They were also really efficient motion as well in Tampa, so that's something to look forward to as well. The Jaguars were.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know if you have the splits in front of you, but I'd be interested when Godwin was healthy and Evans was healthy. Was it still really? Did it pale in comparison when those two guys were out there playing early on for Tampa Bay?
I don't have it in front of me, but it was fairly consistent over the course of this season. Mike Evans actually did he doesn't play a whole lot in the slot, but when he does, he did really, really well in the slot, similar to BTJ this season, who led the NFL in touchdowns from the slot.
You tweeted out recently about Gabe Davis, and they were not comfortable numbers at all. They were very disappointing numbers. When you get a feel for what Liam Cohen does, and again, you just told us that they don't vertically throw it nearly as much in Tampa a year ago as they did here in Jacksonville. Gabe Davis is still going to be a big part of this because of the way his contract reads. What do you envision this team being able to do to try to get him at least slightly involved?
Yeah, it's tough because he's not really a yak guy. He came to Jacksonville and it was kind of supposed to be a mold of a deep threat, red zone target guy, and that certainly wasn't the case this past season. He had a season long of 22 yards, which is not something to be.
That's bad. Yeah.
So that's pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play the full season, but still, your 22 yards being your longest reception as a guy who specializes in the deep part of the field. It's going to be interesting to see what the Jaguars decide to do with him. BTJ kind of immediately planted himself as the Jaguars deep ball guy. I don't really see. If you're in need of a deep ball, throw it to BTJ. You're probably not going to be looking at Gabe Davis as much unless BTJ gives you the option there simply because defenses are going to be looking at him more. Something I saw. Brian Thomas Jr., despite being a deep guy, got 6.5 yards after the catch per reception.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, 3.7.
Phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I saw you printed that or put that out on Twitter a couple of days ago. That is absolutely masterful by the rookie.
And it's absolutely disgruntling for everybody else. 3.7 is pretty tough, and that's got to change with Liam Cohen's offense. He made himself very successful over there with the screen game, and that's certainly got to change if the Jaguars are going to look to do that. Part of that is Trevor Lawrence and to a lesser degree Mac Jones are throwing the ball deep down the field. But yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty different offense. I don't think the deep ball goes entirely away, but I do think that it would behoove the Jaguars to have a much more consistent offense rather than really hit or miss.
Daniel Griffiths, our guest, the sports data guy. You put out as well some numbers on ETN in an 8-box defender scenario, also Tank Bigsby. Dive into that for us because these numbers, I think I understand what you mean here, but I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, so essentially I wanted to give fans an idea of how, more so a degree of difficulty for the running back. Travis Etienne certainly didn't produce as well as he had the last two seasons. And Tank Bigsby kind of really took over a lot of the running back carries.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to look to see, because I know Tank Bigsby primarily is running the ball on first and second down. He doesn't get a lot of looks on third down. So I was curious, was Tank seeing a lot more heavy boxes than Etienne was, and still outperforming Etienne by a decent margin. And that was certainly the case. I don't have the exact numbers that I posted in front of me, but it was much more in favor of Tank Bigsby, who's running much more efficiently against a seemingly more difficult defensive front and front eight, really. And that was something that I was looking at to see, you know, if the Jaguars decide to maybe give Tank Bigsby some more carries next season. It's going to be because your third down back is Etienne as well. They don't really feel comfortable with Tank there, but Etienne gave up the second most pressures of any running back in the NFL last year. So,
final thought with Daniel Griffiths. He joins us, the sports data guy, here with Rick Ballou on Into the Night. I'm very, the fact that it has been acknowledged the way that Liam Cohen said so when he was introduced, and then, Grant Udinsky talking about it yesterday, although he was a little bit more elaborate on the screen game, which you also did mention. Daniel, I happen to be one of those who believes that if they can't run the ball, it's going to be the same old. And we just talked about the backs. It feels like 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are going to be in play for this year. They're going to have to address right guard. What's the biggest challenge? Is it the offensive scheme, or is it directly finding the right way to kind of eliminate the Phil Rauscher complex style of run blocking, simplify it a little bit, and just trust what these guys do best?
Yeah, Tampa Bay really struggled running the year before Cohen got there, and then he was very successful, top 5 in the NFL this past season. And they didn't really change too much personnel either. So I'm really hopeful that he can come in and do a similar thing here in Jacksonville. But, yeah, you mentioned it. The Jaguars were last in the NFL in yards before contact. So you're not giving your running backs much of a chance. And, the Jaguars had one 20-yard rush after Tank Bigsby's big one against Indy. So the last, 10, 11 weeks of the season, they had one 20-yard rush by D'Ernest Johnson in the last game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. You really got to figure out something at right guard. There's some options in free agency, and there's some options in the draft, but you also need a corner and a defensive tackle to get the defense not worst in the league. And I think that, if you can get the run game going, it just helps you out so much in the pass game, as well as, the screen game and the short passing game could help you out in the deep game. But yeah, they got to figure out the run game and the short passing. I'll mention that Trevor Lawrence was bottom 5 in the league in completion percentage, from 0 to 10 yards and 10 to 20, I believe.
Which is really shocking considering it was his 4th year. I mean, he completed 60% of his passes.
Yep. Yeah, he's top. I think he's top 7 in deep passing, and then it's pretty ugly underneath. So the Jaguars really need to figure that out, and that's why you went and got a guy like Liam Cohen that could really address the short passing game, short and intermediate passing game for Trevor Lawrence. Hopefully they can get the middle of the field stuff going, because the Jaguars have been very averse to throwing over the middle of the field for whatever reason. But that's also something to see, something I'm interested in seeing in 2025.
Appreciate it as always. Have a fantastic weekend, Daniel. And once again, have a good one. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you.
There he goes. Daniel Griffiths, the sports data guy. The Jaguars did add a couple of coaches today to the offensive side of the football. Tell you about that on the other side.
Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
The third-ranked Gators look to gain ground against the Gamecocks. Florida, South Carolina. Tomorrow night at 8 on 1010XL.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to bariorthopedics.com.
Find out more at bariorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and beat the winter blues with fun activities in Clay County. Some of my personal favorites are a hands-on aquaponics class at Reparation Earth, or diving into the action at Nakima Anime Bar, where you can join weekly gaming and cosplay tournaments. Clay County always has something going on. Plan your next date at exploreclay.com and share the fun at #ExploreClay.
Tired of a plain and boring backyard? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop choice to beautify your home. With pavers, stonework, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, pergolas, and driveways. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
Love is in the air this February, but nothing kills the mood like a plumbing or HVAC problem. Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, don't worry. We've got you covered. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Our expert team is here to keep your home running smooth, no matter the issue. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 14, 1966, Wilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia 76ers scored 41 points in a game against Detroit, breaking the NBA's all-time scoring record at the time.
Pickett here for Bowden Eye & Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bowden Eye. Visit Bowden Eye & Associates today and experience the difference. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too. Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Ackerman Urology is now servicing the World Golf Village area. If you have elevated PSA, prostate, bladder, or kidney issues, plan to see the experts at Ackerman Urology right away. Their new location off I-95 at International Golf Parkway.
Hammond, Valentine's Day is coming up. Got any romantic plans?
Dad, I'm married to Clean Air. My plan is to help Jacksonville families breathe easier.
You're helpless, but Clean Air does sound nice. Can duct cleaning really help?
Absolutely. Dust, allergens, even odors can build up in your ducts. Cleaning them now makes your air fresher and healthier for your family. The EPA says better indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So cleaning ducts are like Valentine's Day gift for the house.
Exactly. Forget chocolates. Fresh air lasts longer and doesn't melt. Plus, we've got a February special, $100 off your total.
All right, sign me up. Maybe fresh air will make Mom fall in love with me again all over.
You'll have to take her to dinner for that, but cleaner air will definitely help.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, if you're ready to show your home some love, Google Zerorez and read over 7,000 five-star reviews. Zerorez.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerorez. Zerorez.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Davis Thompson, 8 under, a 66 today, so he is your overall leader as we head to moving day tomorrow. Scotty Scheffler, 1 stroke behind, a 67 on this Friday. He's at -7. Dylan Denmark, you have an update. What's going on at the Daytona 500?
Moving the green flag to 130. I guess the rain's going to be an issue because Gator Baseball's moving. They got a doubleheader tomorrow. I guess Daytona's going to try to finish the first half of the race, and then they can call it after that. But green flag's going to be 130 instead of 230 on Sunday.
Feels to me like every Daytona 500 I covered, rain was an issue. A few of them I went to were completely washed out. You had to do it again on Monday. And that's rough. I mean, there are people that come from all over. They plan their vacations to come down here to go to Daytona without race, and I hate it for them. And, you know, those 7 years, around here it's all relative, but those 7 years I would come back from Chicago where it was just, you know, blistering cold. And I was like, I can't, you know, get me back to Florida, Daytona. And it's not like any one of those years it was 80 degrees and beautiful, man. I mean, if I could get it up to like 66, 67, 68 degrees, you know, slightly cloudy, that was probably the best that I could hope for.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes, you know, being right there on the beach, sometimes it'd be really, really cold. Mm-hmm. It just feels like the rain has happened a lot of the 500 the last couple of years. It happened last year. I didn't even remember until I read it. It happened in 2020.
I was there in 2020.
And then it happened about 10 or so years ago whenever Juan Pablo Montoya ran into the back of the jet dryer and blew up.
I was there.
Turn 3, I think it was.
Right, in the Miller Lite tent right behind Pit Road.
Yep. So, I mean, that's 3 times within the last 10 years that, you know, it's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, but Mother Nature, can't do anything about it.
No, that you can't. It's been a rough year going back to 2024 when it comes to Mother Nature, no question about it. All right, the Jaguars, couple of moves today. Fred Walker has been added. No official title. Right now, it's offensive assistant. He had currently been the Raiders' assistant quarterbacks coach. For the record, right now, there is not an assistant quarterbacks coach here in Jacksonville, but Fred Walker hired today by the Jaguars. Also, Trevor Mendelson, who's been around primarily in college. Last year, he was the offensive line coach and the co-offensive coordinator at Western Michigan. Again, no official title. I think the assumption would be the assistant offensive line coach here in Jacksonville. Again, I don't know that for either one of these two, but again, a very busy day. You look at those two moves that Liam Cohen went out and made to help the offense. And then, of course, 3 more interviews today virtually for the general manager's job. That's up to 10 candidates now. Ian Cunningham, the Bears assistant GM, Chad Alexander, the Chargers assistant GM, and those two have been around forever. I mean, those 2 names were mentioned when Bulky was still employed. The new name is John Eric Sullivan, who is actually the son of Jerry Sullivan, according to John Shipley, with Jaguars SI. Jerry Sullivan, you know, a wide receivers coach here for a number of years and just an outstanding guy. But this first appeared yesterday. Jeremy Fowler had it on John Eric Sullivan. So, you know, that makes 10 candidates who have virtually interviewed. The feeling is that they're going to cut it to 5 in that face-to-face interviews, they'll fly them all in, could get underway this weekend or early next week. And from what I understand, you know, Ethan Waugh is on that list. So is that Ethan Waugh and 4 other of the candidates? I don't know. Could they cut it down a little bit more? Could they add? I'm not sure at this particular point. But I would hope a week from today, right here on this Friday, you know, because you got to get everyone set up for Indianapolis. You got to get everyone set up for the NFL Scouting Combine. And to me, that is always a fascinating issue when you make a change this late and you are 69 days away from the NFL draft. I have to believe you're still using Ethan Waugh and his staff, all of their information. Now, if Ian Cunningham comes from Chicago or Chad Alexander comes from Los Angeles or whomever, they're going to bring with them how it works with files and stuff like that. I don't know if you're not allowed to take them. I've never really gotten into that because things have changed so much now electronically. Back in the old days, you'd have it all in notebooks, and it's not like you could just take those notebooks with you. A lot of it has always been entrenched in the mind, right? I mean, good football people, you can take all of the notes and files and everything that you have on people. They still have it registered inside their brain, certain players, what they do well, what they do not do well. But to me, that is going to be a major conversation piece. You're this far away, or this close, I should say, to the combine and then the draft, not to mention free agency begins in exactly 1 month. Okay? Right now, to me, without even batting an eye, the most important thing this football team can do is right guard. Because I'm so blown away by the lack of success with their rushing offense. And that's a conversation piece right there. Do you overspend to go get Becton, to go get, one of these premier offensive, the guy from Kansas City, I forget his name right now. I was just watching him a week ago on Sunday, is available right now. Trey Smith. Trey Smith is available. Will Freeze is available. I mean, there's proven NFL right guards that you can overspend for. What if Ethan Waugh and his camp has said, you know what, we don't trust this NFL draft. We think we can maybe get a good right guard in the 3rd, 4th round, but you're better off spending. You're better off, make that your premier free agency day one splash. Go out and get a right guard. And that's what the Ethan Waugh camp has in. Well, Liam Cohen's got his opinion. What about the brand new general manager who comes in? What if he's like, hell no, I want a corner. Corner's the number one thing that needs to be addressed in this team. Most of you out there believe it is corner. Most of you out there believe it is defensive tackle. My whole opinion here on right guard and other wide receiver is not the popular suggestion. That's down the road. I've seen it. You want a corner and a defensive tackle before anything, where I want a right guard and a number 2 wide receiver. I want to fix this offense first, worry about the defense later. But again, this is why I wish I was a fly in the wall for these type of things, because you're going to bring in these minds, and there's going to be a difference in opinion. I mean, does a brand new GM, when the draft is this soon, does he have final say? Or do you put it on Ethan Waugh, who's been putting in the work with this organization? Your new incoming assistant general manager who becomes the GM here has been putting in the work, but he's been doing it for the current team he's working with. Where does Baselli come into play here? Where does your coach come into play here? This is great stuff. It's not like the old days where it was pretty simple. The GM makes the pick and the coach coaches the players. Things are evolving right in front of us. And that certainly comes into play right now with the Jags. All right, we got much more to do. Let's get ready for our second hour. Let's get you involved. 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
I'm Jeff Lauderman, right here on the flagship station of the Jaguars. That's a heck of a catch. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here. It's new year, new truck time at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% zero APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere in Jacksonville. Shop 24/7 online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Value your trade and customize your payment options in seconds. Nimnik Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Guys, Valentine's Day is coming. Don't run out of time. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside has fresh, beautiful flowers she'll love. Mention radio to get 10% off. They'll even customize the bouquet so it's unique to her. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Well, check out i9sports.com. With spring and summer registration open right now, including all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Yo, 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 it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
3 3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
7 o'clock in Duval. Great to have you with us. Happy Valentine's Day. Flowers and chocolates. I mean, some people probably overdo it, right? I don't feel I have to. I express my love every single day.
I know people are on the road because traffic was a little bit more than usual.
I don't need a Cher created holiday. Cher invented Valentine's Day, right? Didn't that come out in like late 60s, early 70s? I'm just kidding. It's been around forever. It is an important day. Express your love. It's also a very depressed day for those who don't have a significant other. And all I can tell you is drink a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon right there. Head out. Go to a bar. Pabst Blue Ribbon to me is like sex in a bottle. Have a good time with it. Enjoy yourself. But people get so upset that they're not getting chocolates and flowers. And I want to feel bad, but there's like other things on my mind, like who the hell are the Jaguars going to hire as a general manager? I mean, to me, that's like most important. But a Friday night with Valentine's Day, some pretty good stuff. 0148, Ballou. Why spend big money on a right guard when there will be a great one available in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even 5th rounds? I love this question. And this is exactly my point. If Trent Baalke was the general manager, there's no way that Trent Baalke would consider a right guard or wide receiver big in free agency or in the NFL draft early. I think there's an opportunity that possibly Baalke would have looked at a right guard in free agency. Let me check myself there. But he wouldn't with wide receiver. You know why? Because his ego would have been, Gabe Davis is still here. Gabe Davis will improve. I don't care how much the contract is for Christian Kirk, which officially is more than $24 million. That's his cap number. Christian Kirk will be part of the Jaguars football team in 2025, where realistically, if you look at this, in my opinion, it's Christian Kirk is gone. Christian Kirk is done. I'm not paying $24 million for a slot wide receiver who's been injured the last 2 years. And the year prior to that, he dropped a pass in a playoff game, which could have upset the Kansas City Chiefs. That's 0 for 1. That's 0 for 2. That's 0 for 3. Great guy. You love him, Duval. I got it. But this league is about what have you done for me lately? And I'm not paying that amount of money for a possession at this point in his career, slot wide receiver. I'm just not. If Baalke was here, that would happen. Here's the deal. He's not here. Okay? Again, we don't know who's going to make the decision. To me, it's really simple. Say goodbye to Christian Kirk. Bring back $10.6 million. Make a trade. Make a run at T. Higgins. Today, there was a report. ESPN did predictions. Okay? They had Jacksonville getting Chris Godwin. Remember, he only played 7 games, dislocated ankle, bringing up a little bit of a fury here of Liam Cohen, bringing him over from Tampa after everything that just happened. Yeah, I look at it and I say, okay, what's it going to cost? But my biggest fear is didn't Jacksonville just go through that process where they brought in injured free agents, right? Darnell Savage was injured. Eric Armstead was injured. Gabe Davis was injured. You're going to bring in Chris Godwin, another guy coming off an injury. Why not bring in someone who is healthy? But when you go to the offensive line, is it a sure thing? If you give the big money to Trey Smith, if you give the big money to Von Jenkins, if you give the big money to Becton, who was a one-time left tackle, now playing guard, right guard. You know, weight has always been an issue there. Do you overpay for him? It didn't work when this organization overpaid for Zane Beadles. It didn't work when this organization overpaid for Andrew Norwell. It didn't work when this organization overpaid for Brandon Sheriff. I tell you where else it didn't work. Back to the 0148, why he says why you can get a guy in the second, third, fourth, fifth rounds. Okay. Let's track recent history. Cam Robinson, second-round pick. A good one. Javon Taylor, second-round pick. A good one. Notice I didn't say great. Good. Walker Little, a second-round pick. Been a disappointment. He just got signed, but the guy's been injured. He couldn't win a job. You hope he's the left tackle for 3 years, but you don't know. First-round pick Anton Harrison, right? Playing out of position. Should be a left tackle. They got him playing right tackle. He disappointed in year 2. I still think it's going to work for him. I still think Anton Harrison's going to be a good football player. I honestly believe that. Non-first round or second round guys. What has happened with this team? Ben Barch, Luke Fortner, Cooper Hodges. Last year was what? Javon Foster. Not a great track record. Drafting offensive linemen. It's not. And again, I just gave you examples of how this organization has failed in both free agency as well as the draft. Now, there's been a few of the draftable guys that would pass go. And Taylor and Robinson. I'm still holding out here on Walker Little. I want it, but come on. I mean, what grade would you give Walker? Forget about the contract extension. What grade are you giving Walker Little during his career here if you look at the games that he's played and how healthy he's been? Mitch Morse. You know, we heard everything. Mitch Morse brings you this. Mitch Morse brings that. He was just the guy. So, to me, this is the number one priority. Figure it out, for crying out loud. You've got to add a tremendous piece to that offensive line. It's a very good question. And that was my whole point on this, is that when you put the nucleus together, and if that nucleus is Ethan Waugh, Tony Baselli, Liam Cohen, and your next general manager, I would think you're going to have 4 different opinions. That would be my guess. So, 96-94 Ballou, let Kirk Walk make a run at Chris Godwin. He is worth the money. Just express my opinion on it. I'm nervous about going after injured guys. I just gave you an example of how it happened this past year. You know, there's 2 things I'd love this new organization to do. Number 1, draft a guy at a position he played in college and play him there in pro football. Even Anton Harrison, they screwed that up. You know, you took a guy with 23 starts, 22 of them at Oklahoma at left tackle, and you made him a right tackle. Right? And right now, on paper, everything feels great. Because he's your right tackle, and Walker, right now on paper, it's great. Is it really great? I mean, just ask yourself this very calmly. How much faith do you really have in Walker Little giving you 17 games plus at left tackle at a solid level this year? Just ask yourself that. What does history say? History says, hell no. I've never been a big Ezra Cleveland guy. I think he is incredibly average. Mitch Morse, I mean, that's gone from a full joint to a tiny little roach. There's just a little bit left there. I mean, come on. Is this what we're talking about? You're talking about protecting the best player that this franchise has ever drafted. You don't know what you got at right guard. You have resources, you have cash, and you've got draft capital. And then again, you got a right tackle that I want to brag about. But if I'm bragging about him, it's a little bit of a lie. The numbers don't support it. He regressed in year 2. And I'd love to just slap myself and say, Blue, you know what? It was just an awful environment. They mailed it in. They accepted losing. The offense was predictable. The defense was predictable. They were down on the coaching staff. Maybe that's the case. Maybe you just bring in some new blood and bam, all of these things come together. You have got to address this offensive line. And I'm going to waste their time on it because you and I both know the only thing that's going to change is right guard. And a year from now, hopefully we'll all be sitting in the exact same spot. You know what we're going to be talking about, Dylan? The number one responsibility for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 1 year, what to do with that offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, the offensive line is the most, outside of the quarterback, it's probably the most important group because it's the only group where you have to work as one. Everybody else can work as an individual. And if you don't have a good offensive line, you can't run the ball, you can't control the clock. And it's a lot harder to win. I mean, just look at the NFL the last 2 years. Who's had good offensive lines? Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore. Buffalo. Detroit. Philly. Tampa. All playoff teams. And, I mean, you can have the talent like Cincinnati where you have the good quarterback and the 2 good receivers, a good pass rusher. But it looks like Joe Burrow gets in a car accident 3 times a game, and you can't run the ball there. And you drop back 35, 40 times a game, and you start 4-8, even with great talent.
See, I'm so scarred, and I'm trying to. That's why they're coming to take me away. I'm going to. I'm not even sure how you pronounce it. I think it's Carousel for a week. I'm just going to go out there and bake in the sun, and hopefully get in about 72 holes. But I'm scarred because I'm so down on the previous regime and the way that they've screwed it all up, especially when, I mean, to this day, we still don't know. How did they use Josh Hines-Allen? How did they use Trayvon Walker? Why did they move Miles Jack inside? Why did they move Foye Luke on outside? I went back to Miles Jack. I mean, it almost feels like if this team went out and got Travis Hunter, they'd be working him at running back. Or if they went out and got Travis Hunter, they'd make him a slot corner, right? I want to trust this new organization that they are actually going to do things that are as simple as this. Draft a guy at the same position he's been playing, okay? It felt like the former regime was the smartest guys in the room. That, 22 of his 23 starts at left tackle? Wait till Phil Roughery gets a hold of him. We'll make him the best right tackle in football. Wrong. You know, we're going to hang on to Bill Shuey, even though we're making yet another coach. Bill Shuey's done a wonderful job with Josh Hines-Allen, done a wonderful job with Trayvon Walker. I'll never forget almost blowing a gasket, almost literally melting down on the sideline when I saw Trayvon Walker, the top pick in the draft, working as an outside linebacker. I'm like, are you kidding me? Were you going to try to make him Lawrence Taylor? Put him on the defensive line, for crying out loud. The guy played 3 different positions at Georgia. Hey, Ballou, shut up and go do your show, all right? You have no idea what you're talking about. We're the brain trust here. Now, it didn't work out, right? All you guys do is lose. People are tired of losing. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Isn't that the old KISS method? Draft a guy where he plays. Play him. This organization actually tinkered with playing Jalen Ramsey at free safety. And again, we're going back a couple of front offices ago. But you don't always have to act like you're the smartest person. You can take a good football player who's played at a position and ask him to play that same position. I mean, really, outside of Trevor, they didn't try to move Trevor. And you know, they didn't try to move Travis Etienne, although the national media said that they did. Remember they said he was working at wide receiver after the surgery, the non-throwing shoulder for Trevor?
Yeah. Whenever Najee Harris was doing it at the same time and they didn't have an issue with it. He's just catching routes, man. That's it. But can't tell people that.
Look at these stuff that's coming in right now. And, I love it. I just love it. I want to bring all you folks with me to Carousel. Maybe I'll bring the text line with me. Because my feeling on the defense right now, get by with spit and glue. Build your offense. Build it, build it, build it, build it, build it. Build your offense. Have the best offense that you can. Learn to run the ball. Work on the completion percentage that was 60 a year ago for Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen looks brilliant with the offense that he ran a year ago. The improvement from the worst rushing offense in the NFL to a top 5 rushing offense this past year in Tampa with basically the same personnel. Grant Udinski is a guy that I'm learning more and more about. I think he's got a real opportunity to help turn this thing around. Trevor needs a lot of work. He needs reestablished confidence. I'm sure privately he feels like the former regime didn't always have his back. These guys, and Udinski talked about it yesterday. One of the reasons why he took this job, primary reasons, was Trevor Lawrence. You got to fix that offensive line. That, I get it. Most of you disagree. But that's where I am. Fix the offense. Offense. These guys are all going to go. The Christian Kirks, the Evan Ingrams, they're all going to come and go. Trevor's not going anywhere, man. This thing is built around him. Here's one right here, Ballou, 63-51. They've wasted the first third of Trevor Lawrence's career. Okay? Is he only going to give you, what, he only going to give you 12 years? Maybe. 12 years in the NFL is an outstanding career. Okay? If you look at it that way, isn't it frightening? Now, are we one of those who believes that Trevor's going to be playing when he's 38, 39, 40? Maybe, but we're talking about a 25-year-old. This guy says the first third of his career has been wasted. You know what? He's right. It has been wasted. I don't want to sit here in a year and wonder, is it going to work for Trevor? Find out. Put it all in the offense. Put together a line. Run the ball. Work them. Reestablish the confidence. Protect them. Enough injuries. And do whatever you need to do with your defense. Okay? If you lose 33-30, you lose 33-30. It's better than coming out in the first quarter and being asleep and coming out in the first quarter like I'm hungover from the night before. I mean, how tired of you with that crap? Come out and score. Fix your offense, for crying out loud. That's where I'm at.
Did you hear that? Hear what? This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real?
1010XL.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash, there are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's already so incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And take advantage of extended savings this month. Get 40% off and another 15% off with 18-month special financing.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 14, 1966, Wilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia 76ers scored 41 points in a game against Detroit, breaking the NBA's all-time scoring record at the time.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards. And it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Prosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month, and if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about how God never fails us. In the Bible, Christ says this: I will in no way fail you or leave you without support. This is so important to remember because we can have the attitude, where is God when I need him? Why is this problem happening to me? No, just because your mind is saying one thing doesn't mean that God isn't going to do what he said. God has never failed us in the past. He's not about to start right now.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Getting you involved with the show, that's what we love to do here on Into the Night. No doubt about it. Rick Ballou and Dylan Denmark, 1,087. Come on, Ballou. Trevor's not the best player we ever drafted. As far as the hype, he was. Not even close. And Baselli, back in 1995. But this was a can't-miss guy. This was John Elway. We can't get lost in that. And that's what I mean by it. And, there's still a chance here. Okay? Absolutely. There's still a chance. And I think there was a little bit of renewed enthusiasm when Mac Jones got some starts. But we don't know. We don't. Not too long ago, the 63-51, you've wasted 1/3 of his career. That is scary, man. That is petrifying. Now, we don't know if that's true. I mean, Trevor could put it all together and snap the ball around for another 12, 15 years. It can happen. Although it kind of feels like the day of the true drop-back passing quarterback. Man, they're going away, and they're not being replaced, right? Rodgers is the last of them. I guess Cousins, but, the Matt Ryans are gone, the Bradys, both Mannings, the Roethlisbergers, the Brees, they're gone. And Phillip Rivers, they're gone. I mean, we see the styles of quarterbacks that are playing now. Look at the championship game. Look at the Super Bowl. Look at today's quarterbacks. And Trevor is a very good athlete, but he's been concussed. And that's another part of all this. And once we get a real opportunity to get in and talk with Liam Cohen, I'm going to be fascinated because look at how Baker played if you watched Buccaneer football. There was none of this getting down crap for Baker. He was taking on defenders. And Baker's a different skill set from Trevor. But Trevor's got to get down. Hell, he got concussed on a play where he did get down. How do you coach that? Trevor did the right thing. Major responsibility there, 59-01, but we're willing to give an average off-injured quarterback $275 million. You know my thoughts on that. I wouldn't have paid him. And you people yelled at me. You called me naughty names. I wouldn't have paid him. I wasn't convinced. And I hope it works. But you sure as heck, if you've invested to that extent, you better do everything in your power to make that offense the best it can around him. 35-25, Blue of the Jags pick Waugh. I think the time was for a GM. That tells me it'll be someone new. Yeah, I guess if it was Waugh completely, you could see maybe interviewing 5-6 guys. They've interviewed 10. So that's a good point by you. He also says, give me Gladstone. All about drafting the right people. Don't know enough about them. I've read. Just don't know enough. You don't bring in current GMs. They're the decision makers. There's only been one former GM. That's John Robinson. All of these others, you're rolling the dice. They're assistants. Their input is very important, but they're not the final decision maker. This league is filled with great coordinators who are not great coaches. Okay? Great defensive coordinators, great offense coordinators. They're not great head coaches. This league is filled with great assistant general managers and the head of scouting and the head of pro personnel who don't end up being great general managers. And the latter is a lot harder to try to break down because we don't know what goes on in those rooms unless stuff leaks. And when stuff leaks, we just don't know. 67-15, below I asked you the same question to Anton Harrison last year, and you told me it's better to have a player who's versatile, multiple positions. Now you're saying the same thing. I was saying draft the player position he played in college. Maybe. I think I've been all over this forever about drafting guys and playing them at the same position. But, you're quoting me on this. I just think I understand what I say for the most part when I'm sober. Folks, it's hard to do this show sober. Okay? Why do you think I have it down to 60 degrees in here? The show's boring enough. People fall asleep. Dylan's almost passed out over there. And then on top of it, it's sober. No, I've been a big stickler on that. Drafting guys at the same position they played in college. 88-89, Trey Smith is young, and he has great current statistics. He's not coming off an injury. Go get him. Yeah, and the good and bad is this. The guy's been to 3 straight Super Bowls. You give him the bag, where's the desire? You know, I can give you some examples of that. How does Julius Thomas sound? There's the other side. How does Malik Jackson sound? Malik Jackson was more of an effort guy. Malik Jackson, though, was a really good hire or a good signing. That's another big problem. You know, you pay these guys. What are you going to get out of them? What did you get out of the guys who got paid last year? I don't need to go through it for you. Whether they were Jaguars drafted players or they were Jaguar free agent acquisitions. Did any of them impress? Can you think of one who impressed last year?
For free agents?
Free agents or players that the Jags re-signed themselves? Trevor, no. Hines Allen, no. Walker Little, no. Eric Armstead, no. Darnell Savage, no. Ronald Darby, no. Gabe Davis, no. Mitch Morris, all right, Mitch Morris me. All the way to this island that I'm going to. Mitch Morris me, okay, I'll take that with me.
It was an upgrade from what they had before.
It was. Luke Ford couldn't block. But now, a few years ago, some guys they paid, it worked out. It worked out with Evan Ingram, and it worked out with Christian Kirk. It worked out with Foye Oluokun. You know, I mean, it worked with some of those players. Some will say it worked with Brandon Sheriff. I'll say it didn't work. In my opinion, that was a disappointment. Okay? Tyson Campbell. Tyson Campbell didn't have an interception. How can you be the premier corner and not have an interception? How does that happen?
Well, and he got hurt again.
Yeah, 12 games. I mean, that's like going out and hiring a sniper to score goals for your NHL team and he doesn't score. You guy didn't have an interception, for crying out loud. You paid him all that money. So, you know, money doesn't fix it all. There's got to be the will, and there's got to be the coaching and the scheming. Way too many guys got hurt last year. That's another issue. 28-35, Ballou, build the trenches. I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. Every team has holes. Every team has needs, right? There's only so much that you can do. This league is so competitive. This league is also very fixable. And it's built with a salary cap, so you shouldn't be too good for too long. You shouldn't be bad for too long. But there's been only one exception to that rule. Teams that are able to maintain have what? A great quarterback. A fantastic quarterback. Right? They took talent away from Mahomes this year. He didn't have his classic talent. And some of it had been aging. Kelsey's aging. Hopkins is aging. You want to put Trevor in that category. Okay? That is going to be my message this entire offseason. Do everything you can to support this guy, to find out if he is it or not. You don't want to wait 6 more years and still not know. You don't want to wait 6 more years and we have conversations about, well, you know, they really should have drafted this guard, but instead they went and got themselves a corner. I mean, how many times has Jacksonville done that? How many times have we said this team should have drafted Lamar Jackson, not Taven Bryan? I mean, how many times have we gone through? What was the Russell Wilson year? Was it Brian Anger?
That's it.
This team drafted Brian Anger. You had Russell Wilson. So every team can do it. I don't want to do it year after year after year and kind of put, everything in concrete. Then you put Trevor in the fine lead 2 pencil. Oh, we don't know. It's time to figure it out. It is. Is this the guy or is it not the guy? And in order to really find out, give him absolutely everything. If you lose the way that Eric Coryell and Dan Fouts lost back in the day, okay. But you know what? You had Chuck Muncy, you had John Jefferson, you had Charlie Joyner, you had Kellen Winslow, you had an offense, you had excitement, the fans were up, the fans were ready to go. Not like this organization that says to you, you could show up at 1:30 because there's no way that we're going to score in the first quarter. We're going to go 3 and out on our first drive. Create some excitement. I believe Liam Cohen's going to bring it to this city. I mean, would you be crazy to say that you have more faith in Liam Cohen than you do in Trevor Lawrence? Liam Cohen's never done it before. Trevor has done. He's done it for 4 years. And it's been wasted. He's 22 and 38. That's my whole deal. I mean, regardless of the set of circumstances, I'm here for it. But I do not want to be sitting here again on Valentine's Day in 2026 saying to you, I wonder if Trevor really is the guy. Because that's where we are. We don't know 4 years in. I mean, Trevor could still be a budding superstar. He could end up being one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, or he could flame out in 2 years. And this organization's like New Orleans because they're caught in cap hell because he did not work. That is on the table, people. It is. And you're not going to be able to really find out the answer to this question if you go get a defensive tackle in the first round, a corner in the second round, a safety in the third round. No. You may be a better defensive team. Anything will be better than the crap that this team put out last year. This team had 9 takeaways. What an embarrassment. 9 takeaways. I guess a 10th on spot. I mean, how about a little bit of professionalism? 9 takeaways in 17 games? It's an ongoing conversation. And it's the great unknown. And again, everything else is going to be replaced. This is the final year for ETN. Probably the final year of Ingram if he survives the cut. Guys that you love are going to come and go. Come and go. Final year for Eric Armstead. Final year for Devon Hamilton. Are they going to bring back Walker? Final year for Devin Lloyd. Final year for Chad Muma. They all come and all go. That's the NFL. The one who's not is Trevor. You've got to put it all out there for him. Make him as good as he can be. Coaching and adding the right personnel. Final thoughts coming up. Ballou with you tonight till 8.
On campus.
7 years of college down the drain.
On the inside and on XL Primetime.
What's the deal with the show?
Bleacher Report college football insider Matt Hayes.
How do you like being in a real studio?
2 to 4 weekdays on 1010XL.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
If you're getting engaged this Valentine's Day, Beards Diamonds has Jacksonville's largest selection of engagement rings, lab-grown diamonds, and GIA-certified loose diamonds, even Rolex watches, all at the lowest prices guaranteed.
At the St. John's Town Center or shop online at beardsdiamonds.com.
If you're cooking for your sweetheart this weekend, Southern Steer Butcher has you covered. An easy-choose Valentine's Day special menu with the best meats in town. Full V-Day flyer at southernsteer.com.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com. Show the coupon at the pharmacy and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Nicholas, CEO of the Jacksonville Humane Society. Thanks to the players for helping us provide care and compassion to animals in need and inspiring our community to support shelter pets. It's 25 days until the Players' Championship.
Roses are red, violets are blue. A broken pipe? That's no way to woo. This Valentine's Day, don't let plumbing or HVAC problems ruin the romance. Whether it's a leaky faucet, a backed-up septic tank, or a heater that's colder than your ex's heart, Duck Rooter is here to save the day. Our expert team will fix it fast and at a fair price, so you can get back to the love you deserve. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're gonna love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Start of college baseball today. I'll give you a couple of finals and as well as some games going on that you would be interested in. But a couple of hirings today by the Jaguars. Fred Walker was the Raiders' assistant quarterbacks coach. No official title given here for Fred Walker as of yet. Also, Trevor Mendelson, who was the offensive line coach and co-offensive coordinator with Western Michigan. He has been hired. So they've been listed as both offensive assistant. Make the case that maybe Fred Walker will be the assistant quarterbacks coach here and that Trevor Mendelson will be the assistant offensive line coach here. Again, I don't know that, but I think you can make that assumption. Ian Cunningham interviewed today, Bears assistant GM. Chad Alexander as well, the Chargers assistant GM. And John Eric Sullivan interviewed, son of Jerry Sullivan. So that's 10 that have interviewed in Jacksonville. Next, I got to believe face-to-face meetings. Maybe half come in to the Millard Electric Center, and who knows, maybe a week from today, a new GM will be announced. Got to believe they're going to cut that in half. I would hope there won't be as many as 5, but some people seem to think that that is where they are going to go. All right, Florida State 6-0 over James Madison. The Noles ranked 9th in America. That is a final day one of college baseball. Georgia wins 9-1 over Quinnipiac, which is either Rhode Island or Connecticut. I know from growing up fairly close to those parts that it's a pretty good baseball school up east. Georgia ranked 8th in America. They win today as well. Let's see. Everyone is playing. What a loaded list of games that are going on in college baseball. All right, other games that are going to begin either tonight or are ongoing right now. Let's see. Iowa at South Florida. Let me hit this one more time because I'm having a little bit of trouble here with this computer. All right, here we go. Right now, West Virginia up 4-1 here in town against Jacksonville. The Gators ranked 10th in America. They are up 4-0 right now over Air Force. That is in the bottom of the 5th inning. UCF down 4-1 to visiting Siena. Notre Dame up 3-0 here on the campus of the University of North Florida. That is in the 4th inning. And Miami up 1-0 underway there, 3rd inning against Niagara. So that's giving you the basics on what's happening here in our state. For the most part, with college baseball officially getting underway, my goodness, on this Friday, Valentine's Day. Just absolutely spectacular. Last I noticed, Rory was making a run as well. Let's see, a 67 today for Rory. So look at this leaderboard as we get ready for Saturday. Davis Thompson, a 66 today, -8. Scotty Scheffler, 1 behind at 7 under. Then you got Denny McCarthy still out on the golf course. But they have Denny McCarthy here twice. This computer is going crazy. I got Rory McIlroy, 5 under today, is 67. So for Rory McIlroy, after what he's done recently, it feels like he's on top of his game. What's it been now, 10 years, maybe even 11, since Rory McIlroy has actually won a major? Perhaps that could happen. But first things first, you got this tournament this weekend. Then, of course, before you know it, the Players' Championship will be here. It's it is less than 1 month away when it is going to be all said and done. All right, that's going to be it as we get ready to bring in Hacker Nation. I'm going to be gone for a week. And, everything has happened with this team where all of the coaching decisions have been made, including the 2 we just talked about here a couple of minutes ago. The next up huge decision this organization is going to have to make is who is the general manager going to be. And, next week, February 18th, teams may designate a franchise transitional player. I can't see that happening on this roster. If you look at the free agents, I'd be shocked if that took place. Right when I get back will be the NFL Scouting Combine beginning on February 24th through March 3rd. So you want to have your GM in place then. And again, we're 69 days away from the draft. So that's going to be a very important day as well. Coming up, or several days, I should say, for the NFL Scouting Combine. That'll be next. And again, hopefully the GM is in place for the Jags.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Too early for baseball for you, or are you fine with it?
No, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not the biggest college baseball fan, but I certainly follow it. I follow it actually more now than I probably did 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Right.
Just because of the success of the local teams. But, I mean, I see Notre Dame's in town playing UNF. That's kind of cool, right?
And West Virginia's in town playing JU.
Yeah, so I love that. And Florida's off to a good start beating Air Force. So, yeah, I mean, mid-February, it's interesting. The college baseball starts up now before the Daytona 500, which is interesting. But, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I just love the fact that it started here on a Valentine's Day. Dylan was telling me that in 2 years, the Super Bowl will be on Valentine's Day?
That's right.
That ought to be an interesting one. I hope I'm around still for that, figuratively speaking. No, obviously what I mean. Anyway, what do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah,
I need
about to say, do you need to share something with us?
Nah.
Everything good over there?
Oh, my God. I'm getting ready to go to an island. Everything's perfect.
I'm very jealous. You're going to an island, and I'm going to the Magic Kingdom at Disney World for the
you
weekend.
Love that. You'd rather be there than Carousel or any of that type of stuff.
I don't know about that. But the good part for my son is he's now tall enough to ride Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one of the main rides down there. We've been waiting for him to be 42 inches tall. We went to the doctor, and Little Hack is now 43 inches tall. So we are going to wait in that line tomorrow. He's going to get on that ride if it's the last thing I do. So that's my weekend in a nutshell.
That'll be a blast, no doubt about it. All right, what's going up tonight?
Yeah, we got a lot of Jaguar talk. JP Shatter, Jaguars.com, will join me, kind of give his thoughts on everything that's going on. He did those one-on-one interviews with both Liam Cohen and Anthony Campanile on Jaguars.com. So we'll talk to JP. Also, Cody Carpentier of Roster Watch will join me. We'll talk about the Jaguar roster. He does a lot on the NFL draft as well. So a lot of Jaguars tonight heading up till 10 o'clock.
All right, have a great show.
Have a terrific vacation.
Thank you very much. I certainly am in need of it. I don't think there's any doubt. So I'll be back in a week. Dylan, Denmark, have a great time. I'll miss you while I'm gone.
Yes, be safe out there.
Yes, no doubt. Being safe is of the most importance. Folks, I just went to the YouTube for the first time, man. A lot of folks on there tonight. Appreciate that as always. I don't check the text line or any of that when I'm off, but you can always get me on Twitter or X at Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Daniel Griffiths. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. Have a great week. I'll be back 1 week from Monday right here in your home of the Jags.